Are you looking for something a little less humdrum than a typical garden salad that you can bring to a barbecue, family gathering, picnic, or whatever? I have the perfect solution for you here. This is my easy 3-bean salad. So easy you'll be surprised at how little effort there is in putting this together. And if you'd like to see how this is done, stick around because it's coming up next. Hello and welcome to my kitchen. My name is Roy. I am a home cook and amateur baker, and I am here on this channel sharing recipes that have helped me to lose over 125 pounds, whether those recipes are mine or someone else's. And as you can see, today I have a guest with me, and it's not Paul. I'm sorry if anyone thought Paul might finally make an appearance. It's not Paul. This is my friend Deb. She is the mayor of Lacine, Kansas, and she is here visiting for the week, so I figured I could get her into a video. So would you like to say hello to the people?
Hi, I'm excited to be here and on this side because I'm always watching his videos.
And one other reason that Deb's in the video with me is last year when she came to visit, she, like a lot of us, had a weight issue, and she was determined, because we were walking all over P-Town in Massachusetts, if anyone doesn't know. We were all having somewhat of an issue, me because of my physical issues, and she had some issues just because of the extra weight she had on. She decided she was going to lose weight by the time she came up this year. And how much have you lost now?
Just a little past 80.
And what have you been doing?
Well, one thing I noticed when we first got home, we had talked about how much we had ate.
Right.
And we were really concerned about that. But what I wasn't doing was grazing.
Oh, right.
Because I was, with you guys and we were away. So the first thing I said was I wasn't going to graze anymore.
Right.
And because when I got home after that vacation, I had lost 5 pounds.
Right.
And so I knew that that was part of the problem.
Yeah.
And, eating less and following things like your recipes that make it possible to eat interesting food.
Right.
Still.
Right. And not have an abundance of calories and stuff, because you don't follow any programs or anything. You're just doing
I
what...
eat less, no grazing, no chips, and I don't eat late at night.
Right. That's a good point. And also, Deb did bring us some presents that Paul suggested that I show you. These are 3D printed dragons. This one's mine. It's got roses on its back. And this one is Paul's, and it's all crystals. And it's fully articulated, but what throws me and Deb off is this was printed all in one piece on a 3D printer. And we have no idea. We have no idea how that works. I cannot figure out how you can get something with gaps in the middle and that will move like this. I don't know. It makes no sense to me.
Or me.
It doesn't have to. They're beautiful, and we love them. I'm going to get them out of the way so they don't get hurt. But we really appreciate those. And now we can get on to what we are making today, which is my easy 3-bean salad. This might be probably one of the shortest videos that you're going to see because it is just that easy. Well, the pepperoni pizza that I did, that quick cuisine thing, that was like 2.5 minutes. So it won't be that short, but it will be shorter than most of my rambling videos. Okay, so to go over the ingredients, I have here 1 can of chickpeas. It's 1 15-ounce can that is drained and rinsed. The same thing for the kidney beans. I just dump the can out and rinse them and drain them. And then I have some green beans, the same thing, about a 15-ounce can of cut green beans that I have drained of the liquid. You don't necessarily have to rinse those. Now you could, if you wanted, you could use fresh green beans. Do you ever cook with fresh green? You don't cook much
I don't.
So it's Emil,
But when
her
I was
husband,
a
who cooks.
kid, we had fresh green beans.
Oh, you
and
did?
Those are good.
Yeah. And if you wanted to use fresh green beans, you can. What you would do is cut them into bite-sized pieces, obviously. And you would put a pot of salted boiling water on, throw the green beans in for about 2 minutes, and then just throw them into some ice water, and you'll have that crisp, tender texture that a fresh vegetable will give you that a canned will not. Then I have here 1/2 cup of light Italian dressing. This is the one that I'm using, Olive Garden Light Italian. This one for 2 tablespoons is just 1 bite or Blue Point. If you don't know, I am on the Healthy Better Balance plan, which is equivalent to the old WW Blue plan. And those are the bites and points that I give. I will also be giving calories and macros at the end. But this one is very good. If you use a different one, this is mostly where your bites and points are going to be coming from. So if you use a different one, the bites and points might be different. I have here 1 tablespoon of dried parsley. You could use fresh parsley if you prefer. You would just use double the amount, so it would be 2 tablespoons. I have 1/2 teaspoon of table salt and 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. And now, because Deb does not cook, I figured this would be a great recipe to show her how to do, because you basically just open cans, throw them in a bowl, and that's about it. So, oh, I did forget a red onion. Now, I'm going to show you how I'm going to cut this up. So let me just move these things aside a little bit. But you want fairly thin slices, and I'm using a red onion because for salads and things like that, red onions are really good. They don't have that overly bitter taste that a lot of raw onion will have, like the yellow or the white. So I don't want giant slices. So I'm gonna just cut this into 3 pieces, 3 wedges, just right down the middle. We're gonna cut down the line here, so that way we're just gonna get thin slices, but they're gonna be shorter than if I were to just cut the whole thing. Now in the recipe, it does say about 1/2 cup. You can play around with that. If you're not as big of a fan of onion, you can cut it down. If you're really a fan of onion, you could bump it up. I'm not even going to measure this. I know about 1/4 of a large red onion is going to be about 1/2 cup. And we like red onion, so this will work. And then once we get down to this end where it's a little tougher, we're going to just lay it on its side and cut across this way, rather than trying to still cut it upright like that and end up slipping and cutting ourselves. All right, so there we have our onions. Now we're just gonna throw it all in a bowl. So just dump all the beans in together at the same time. And we'll add in the onion. And then you can just toss that a little bit. Just mix those through a smidge. And then I'm going to sprinkle, while you're doing that, the parsley so that we can get that incorporated. And the salt, black pepper.
I can't cook, I can stir.
That's an important thing to be able to do. And this one will do it. So we have all of our beans, onions. We have the salt, pepper, and parsley in there. Now, the hardest part, just dump in the salad dressing. You don't have to worry about making your own vinaigrette or any of that kind of thing. It's all done for you right in that bottle. So we're just gonna mix this, and that's it. That's all there is to it. The only thing is, you do need to let this sit and marinate for a little bit. It tastes better the longer it sits. So usually at least a few hours before you're planning on eating it. If you can let it sit longer, like you could make this up to 3 days in advance and let it sit, because then all those flavors will mellow and get really nicely combined. But that's all there is to it. You think you could manage that?
I could do that.
So now you have something you can bring to, like if you have a little barbecue to go to or something, really quick and easy.
And it's pretty.
Yeah, and it's pretty. It's nice colors. And you don't have to, if you don't want to, like say you don't like chickpeas or kidney beans, you can change up the beans. With another one that I made, I used black beans and cannellini beans because I didn't have the other beans on hand. So you can change up the beans if you need to. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I told you this was going to be a short one. But for the calories and bites and points and all of that, I consider this as serving 6. You can spread it out more or less if you want. But it would be about 3/4 of a cup to 1 cup, depending. I say 7/8 of a cup, that way right in the middle. But for 1 serving of this, it would only be 1 Better Balanced Bite or Blue Point, and that's because of the dressing that I use, the Olive Garden Light. If you use a different one, as I said, that's pretty much where you'll get the bites and points from. If you have the bites and points and you want to use something a little heavier on bites and points, that's fine because that's the only place you're going to get any. Now, if you're following calories, 1 serving of this is going to be 178 calories. And if you're following macros, the fat would be 3 grams, the carbs would be 28.8 grams, the fiber would be 8.3 grams, and the protein would be 8.6 grams, and that's for using this as 6 servings. Again, if you change that up, obviously those things would change as well. So just make sure you always put things in the recipe builder as you create them. Now the recipe for this, if you even really need a recipe, is going to be on the blog, and I will link directly to that below so that you can find this specifically. Also down there you will find my Amazon storefront, my Built Bar rewards, my Fetch rewards, my social media, Instagram and Facebook groups. So go check out the description box and find all that information. So I want to thank my friend Deb for making an appearance and sharing some of her weight loss story with us and what she's been doing. And unfortunately you won't be seeing Paul, but I may talk him into doing the voice behind the scenes of one of my tags, maybe. I might have him read me the questions. That way you'll all know that he is real. Actually, Deb can admit he's real. He really is real for all of those who aren't sure because you never see him. But he is real. But I hope that you're going to go and enjoy some of this. And as usual, you know, like, subscribe, comment, share these videos if there's anyone who would be interested in the content, and hit the notification bell for the next time I upload any sort of video. And I guess we're gonna go and let this mellow for a few hours before we dig in. But thank you again for being in the video.
Thank you for including me.
I'm glad you're here. All right, so until next time, bye.